it was an interesting day. Like I said, the race was insane. I don't know what it looked like on TV, but being there in person, I mean, it looked like, you could see people. Like, they're fast, they're fast, they're fast. I know it happened to Christopher Bell. There's a couple guys, in that first stage, they were fast. They were running up towards the front, and then all of a sudden they're fucking 2 seconds slower than the field.
Looks like our normal vehicles will go faster than them around
Yeah, I
that
mean,
track.
it was literally
so
like
slow.
a fucking switch would get flipped, and you would just, your tires were done. They were good, and then they were done. And some cars had more issues than others. Like I said, the RFK cars didn't seem to have any issues. I guess we can go ahead and get into the review of the race. In that first stage there, neither of them qualified all that well. Brad was 17th, and Chris Buescher was 34th. So terrible qualifying for Chris, and not great for Brad. Brad kind of overdrove it, and Chris kind of.
But qualifying on Saturday was even entertaining.
Yeah,
multiple like Chris, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith. A lot of these guys about damn wrecked.
Yeah,
Kyle Busch, I don't think he had a good qualifying run.
And I misspoke. Brad underdrove the car, and Chris overdrove it and got loose, and that's why he qualified towards the back. Ross was back there with him, and by the end of stage one, both of them were in the top 10. And when you have cars like that, it's a good day. Your Chase was fast at the beginning, then had some voltage issues, I believe is what it was. And then I think he had a tire issue as well. But
We're going to get a rundown real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Second time this year out of 5 races. Yeah. Denny Hamlin wins, in case you didn't know.
He's a young troubadour.
Yeah, he is. Martin Truex Jr., he's a little older troubadour, finishes second. Them two just ran away from the field that last stage.
I think he beat Brad by 10 seconds.
Yeah, and Brad Keselowski finishes third. Alex Bowman came out of nowhere to finish fourth. I never really saw him all day. He was around 15th every time I saw him. And he just did a good job on his tires at the end, I guess. Good top 5 for those guys. They needed it. Kyle Larson, 5th. He was up there most of the day. Kind of had some tire problems throughout the day. John Hunter Nemechek, he was up there. Toyotas were fast. He gets 6th. Chris Buescher, my pick, he gets 7th.
You win again.
I'll win again. Chase Elliott, 8th. Like I said, he was up there early, then kind of fell back for the most part.
And then just kind of managed
and then kind of
well.
managed stuff at the end. It shows. That's why people say that Chase Elliott doesn't have any talent. Well, if he didn't have any talent, he would have finished like 20th. So tire wear, Chase did a good job. Just like Chris Buescher, Kyle Larson, Brad, Martin, all of them. They're good at that. Yep. Ty Gibbs, 9th. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I think
Ty Gibbs was fastest car all day.
Probably. He won both stages. How many cars were on the lead lap at the end?
I think 7.
Chris was a lap down.
Maybe it was 5 then.
Kyle Larson or John Hunter Nemechek, 5th or 6th was the last car on the lead lap. There was only 5 or 6 cars left on the lead lap by the end of the race. It proves how crazy this race was.
Yeah.
Ty Gibbs, 9th. He probably had the best car. He had a real bad tire problem at the last stage and still was able to get a top 10. Christopher Bell, 10th. He had a fast car. McDowell, 11th. Josh Berry, best race of the year by far.
Tire issue.
Still got 12th. Briscoe, 13th. Priest, 14th. So 3 SHR cars right at the top 15, which is good. Ross Chastain, 15th. Kind of was a no-show all day. Blaney, 16th. That's who you picked. He was up there for a little bit. And then
tire issue, I think.
Everybody about had a tire issue. Justin Haley, he ran top 10 all day.
Yep.
Or at least for the second half of the race.
I think he was running 5th before that last round of pit
Yeah,
stops.
he was up there, and he tire problem. Suarez, 18th. Kaz Grolin, 19th. He was up there, too.
Yeah, he was
Great
running
run
top
for him.
10.
Yeah, Eric Jones, 20th. LaJoy, 21st. Joey Logano, 22nd. I don't know what's going on with that 22 team. They are off right now. AJ Allmendinger, 23rd. Austin Dillon, 24th. Kyle Busch, 25th. Both those guys had tire problems. Kyle Busch went out like 2 or 3 times. Don't know what's going on at RCR either. Having a rough time.
Fuck them.
Todd Gillen, 26th. Carson Hocevar, 27th. Daniel Hemrick, 28th. Bubba Wallace, 29th. Tyler Reddick, 30th. Bad day for 23-11 guys. Austin Cindric, 31st. Harrison Burton, 32nd. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 33rd. Noah Gregson, 34th. William Byron, 35th. and Zane Smith rounds out.
Yeah,
the
he
field,
had a motor
36.
issue early.
Well, he blew a tire. He hit Tyler Reddick, and then he blew a tire, and then that car was destroyed.
I thought Zane blew up.
He did blow up, but he had all those other problems too.
Yeah, 45 was in that wreck from the lead.
Which at the time I was going, you think about it, it's like I was like, why would you do? At the time, they didn't know the tires were going to be that bad.
Yeah, well,
That's not why he spun out, but
I mean, it was definitely an interesting race. I mean, we rattled off. I mean, more than half the field had tire issues. So it was crazy to see, cars go and, fall back, and then next run they'd be fast, and then Ty Gibbs, very fast, and then he'd have a tire issue and work his way back up there. And it was really fun to watch in person because, you never knew what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there was like 5 cars that didn't have issues all day, and they were the ones that kind of finished in the top 5. Even Chris Buescher, I mean, he was leading the race.
It felt like a rock.
At the end of, I think at the beginning of stage 3, he was leading the race.
I think it's beginning of stage 2. I don't know.
There were so many like weird cautions and stuff. It was hard to remember exactly where things happened. But at one point, Chris was leading the race, and as soon as he got passed by one car, I mean, he fell back to like 9th. And then, I don't know if it was just a tire issue or he just overcooked him or whatever. But Brad didn't have any issues like that. He was not the fastest car, but when you can finish top 5 with a top 10 car, which is about what I would say he did.
I don't think he had anything for them Toyotas.
Nothing for the Toyotas, especially the 2 that finished in front of him. I don't think he was faster than Ty Gibbs. And I think Chris Buescher was probably faster than him too. But all you got to do is not make mistakes, and that's what Brad's good at. But yeah, I mean, it was just it was a wild race. Very, very entertaining. And it's kind of pissing me off that some of the drivers are talking shit about the race because that's
coming up on RTT.
That's part of racing there. I understand, if you have tire issues, you're gonna blame it on the tire, but what is it that they're asking for? They're asking for more power, so they have to drive. And that's part of it. Not overcooking your equipment. And the guys that were good at that showed today. Denny Hamlin, been doing it a long time.
Well, not today.
Or yesterday.
Do you think you could have done a podcast last night?
Yeah, probably. Wasn't that bad.
God, well, I don't think I would have made it.
Yeah, you were in a worse way than me at the end of the night, but
that's because I
kept going.
But,
But
I did keep going.
but yeah, it's like I said, the veterans. 3 of the older guys in the field.
Only one that didn't was Kyle Busch.
Yeah, finished 1, 2, 3, and then Kyle Busch
had a fast car.
and just those RCR cars suck this year for some reason. So, yeah, it was great. I loved it. I give it an A. It was a great.
What's
race.
your ranking?
An A.
An A. So that's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, about 9 out of 10. The only thing that would make it a better race was just a little bit
less chaos.
Yeah, just a little bit less because it did kind of get old. Seeing cars just drop out of the they would lose 5 seconds. I mean, just in a flip of a hat. I mean, or at the drop of a hat. Excuse me.
You turn into me over here.
Goddamn,
I don't. Wrong sayings.
But it's
a flip of a hat.
I like I said, I don't know what it looked like on TV, but it was kind of difficult to follow. Which I'm sure Bristol is kind of difficult to follow in person anyway. But it was kind of difficult to follow who was where and who was having issues and why. But other than maybe just a little less tire wear, making it a perfect race, I think it was really, really good. I think it was the best race of the year.
Better than Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I look at this race into 3. This race broken down into 3 different races, 3 different segments pretty much. First stage, just chaos. like we're at the track just seeing multiple guys just like they're blowing motors. It's hard to keep up. TV, I'm sure they probably didn't do the best job at it. I don't know. But there was a lot going on. So if the TV missed some things, I can't really blame them. But I haven't watched the Fox broadcast, like I said, because we were there. But it was fun chaos. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know what the hell was going on those last 30, 40 laps with people just falling like a rock, going up into the marbles. Just like they're people going from second to 22nd in a matter of a couple laps, looking like it looked like a IMSA race where it's just different classes out there of cars. Like there was another class of way faster horsepower cars, and then a lower class with way less horsepower and less speed. So first stage was crazy. Second stage, you see everybody just kind of trying to be conservative. I mean, it was almost like Atlanta, Daytona, Talladega for a lot of that second stage because nobody wanted to overdo their tires from what happened in stage one. So everybody's just kind of not getting too far away from each other, just kind of 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 at Bristol. That was crazy to see. And then the third stage was just no. The third stage just kind of got so spread out because there was no rubber being put down, and when it got colder, the guys just either you had grip or you didn't, or your car did stuff or your car didn't. So that's why you saw the drastic differences at the end of the race. And, you had a long green flag run with people pitting at different times. People had tire problems or pitting, and then you wait 10, 15 laps, and then the other guys will pit. And then you see, guys on fresher tires, again, just look like they're so much faster driving different vehicles and the guys that hadn't pitted yet. And then tire problems, like I said, people going up into the marbles, losing tire. I mean, it was just crazy. So this race was awesome to be at. I'm sure on TV, if we wouldn't have been there, I'm sure it would still be graded very highly for us, just considering it took talent. It took driver etiquette. You couldn't just drive the hell out of it for all 500 laps. And a lot of people like us have said, everybody just goes 100% these days. You don't have to save hardly any tire wear. You just go like hell. It's what these young drivers have gotten so used to in the Cup Series. And you saw a race that did not play out like that. If you drove your car 100%, kind of like Ty Gibbs did, kind of like Christopher Bell did, you're going to fall through the fucking field and your tires are going to be done and corded up. So that was nice to see that you had some veterans that have done that in the past, Gen 4 era, Car Tomorrow era, even Gen 5 era. Like, you had to...
Gen 5 was a Car Tomorrow.
Well, not... not the Car Tomorrow, but like it wasn't Gen 6.
Gen 6, yeah.
No, they introduced the Gen 6 in 2013. Gen 5, I'm talking about like from 2011 and 2012.
So the Car Tomorrow without
really
the
wasn't,
wing?
Yeah, that really wasn't the Car Tomorrow anymore. It looked completely different.
It is still a Car Tomorrow.
It's Gen 5. They had like 3 different generations of cars in one generation. Anyways, like those guys that race those cars, like a Denny Hamlin, like a Truex, like a Brad Keselowski, they have done that. Now, they haven't done it in a while, but they have done that before. All these younger guys haven't done that much. So that's why they finished 1, 2, 3. That's why they did the best job at conserving their tires at the end of the race. Josh Berry, short track guy, he knew how to conserve tire wear. Now, he still had tire problems. But Chris Buescher, another guy, short track racer from Texas, he was pretty good at saving his tires. Now, a lot of that could be the team, but Brad and Chris are pretty good at saving tires, apparently. So could have been just the team helping them, too, with how aggressive they went on the tires. You don't know. Because Rick Ruhr Racing was quick as I've ever seen them at a non-super speedway track with, I'm about to say Cody Ware, with Rick, Justin Ailey and Kaz Gralla. So it was a great race. I'm giving the same score, 9 out of 10. And if Denny Hamlin doesn't win that race, it's probably a 95. If it's Chris Buescher, it's a 95.
Oh, that's an 11 out of 10. Chris Buescher wins.
If it's Kyle Busch, it's a 95. I'm just saying, just if it's Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, or Christopher Bell, or Ty Gibbs, the race can be amazing. I'm still going to drop it some points because of who won the race. So it drops it a little bit, but it's still an awesome race. I'm so glad I got to see it, and yeah, I had a great time.